Hello everyone, it's Lottie from Cancer is a Lifestyle. So I have been watching a lot of different channels. You know that I love the different types of channels that are out there. I don't stick with just crocheting or cancer channels or anything like that. I watch everything. And the things I watch, I just love people's creativity. There is so much out there that you can watch that people are doing. And I love it. I love their talents. Some of the channels that I have been watching are homeschooling channels, and I don't even have any children that go to school, let alone that I'm homeschooling. But I love their creativity and the ideas that these moms do to teach their child to keep encourage them and keep them interested. So one of the things they do is what they call a morning basket, and they do one every month. So it would be like a December morning basket, and they'll do a family one, and they'll do a mom basket, and they'll put things in there that they want to for their alone time or their family time that they would like to maybe read, activities, devotion, journals, anything for that month that they like to do. So I've always wanted to start one, but I didn't want to start in the middle of the year because of what I was going to put in there. I had it in my head as to what I was going to do. So I thought I'm going to wait till January, and when the new year starts, I'm going to start fresh and just do it. And I'm also not going to call it a morning basket. I'm not going to do one every month. I am going to call this my 2021 basket. And this is my relaxation basket. So I think that's what I'm going to call it. My 2021 relaxation basket. There's not going to be a time limit on this. I will interchange it throughout the year depending on what, if I finish something, I want to, of course, put something new in. Especially if I finish a book or something like that, then I want to put a new one in. But let me show you what I put in there. Now you can put anything you want. It doesn't even have to be books. Maybe it's activities that you want to do. Maybe it's a project that you would like to finish. But this whole point for me is I don't want it to be stressful. I don't want it to be like, oh my gosh, the month is almost over and I didn't even read this book or do this, activity. I want it to be something that is sitting close by me and that I can just pull back. Sometimes we have these days where we just don't want to do anything, right? We don't want to be crafting. We don't want to be and we just want to sit maybe on the couch and read a good book or watch a good movie. And, let me journal. Sometimes we just want to put aside everyday activities and just do something else to de-stress. So I'm going to show you my basket, what I use for my basket. This is a basket that was given to me by someone in church, from my very first church that I ever belonged to, and they filled it up actually with yarn and gave it to me, and I held on to it all this time. And so let me show you what I'm going to put in there, okay, and why. Let me put this down because this is kind of heavy. Oh, sorry. Okay. So the very first book I put in there, and I had to search for it because it's the John Seymour Self-Sufficient Life and How to Live It. Now, this is a book on all about homesteading, gardening, compost, anything you can think of. Hold on a second. Let me take a break from it. Sorry, you guys. I just had this coughing spree like my throat was dry, and I needed to get something to drink, so I had to take a sip of my tea. But the purpose of this book is that I have mentioned many times before, I wanted to start a garden. When we moved here, the patio was the first place that we considered, put some potted plants and in pots and plant them that way. But I quickly realized over the summer that it is a very shady spot. There is a little bit of sun, but it's not a lot of sun. And I knew that I was not going to be able to grow a lot of things in there. So I quickly realized that, what, I need to do plan B. So basically my son and I will be making a garden at his home. And I wanted to kind of catch up on gardening. I've done gardening for many years, every summer, but it's been like a good 10 years since I've actually had a garden. And I wanted to, because they do have a lot in here. I mean, look at, they have so many details and all. I wanted to kind of, refresh my mind as to maybe what I wanted to use for compost or soil, or what type of method, what type of vegetable I want to grow, that kind of thing. And before I actually started. So I thought, this would be a good book for me to get into. It has a lot of wonderful, like I said, it has all about herbs, it has vegetables, it has fruit trees, it has all kinds of things, even layouts. They had this on how to, where is it? I'm trying to find it now. How to lay out your garden. Many suggestions. Here, let me show you. They had a few patterns and designs of how to do them. And I thought this is a really good book. This is a great book for homesteaders. It actually shows you how to milk a cow, how to, take care of animals, everything. So I am going to be reading this and kind of getting my ideas as to what I want to do, what type of method of gardening I want to do, just things like that. So I just wanted to do that. The next thing I put in here are actually all my puzzles. I think since my cancer in 2007 and my journey began, and all these doctor appointments I have had, and don't forget, I've had it 4 times now with cancer. So I have collected quite an assortment of puzzles, and people love to give you puzzles in the hospital, crosswords, word problems, anything. I love it. Coloring books, any of that. I love it. I have a whole collection, and I will tell you that these are great ideas for when you're visiting someone in a hospital. Make them a little gift basket, or a bag with just little things like this, because we get bored. We need to have things to fill our minds. And I also take these even to my hospital when I go have a doctor appointment. Coloring books, all of that is in here. I have quite a selection. Sometimes I just may want to sit here and color, Another thing that I am going to be doing is I am going to be working on my journal. Now I'm going to show you a little bit of my journal. I just use a regular notebook, nothing special. For all of you who are great, you're gifted and you do junk journals and you do all these beautiful journals that you put together. You guys are artists. Please do turn away from this amateurish. But I don't know if you've watched my video where I've been saving my calendar from the whole year because I wanted to kind of make a journal of a monthly journal of what, like a memory book of what happened each month. So this is just basically what I kind of started. This is what I kind of started, I think last fall. And it basically just, all these symbols represented what I did that month. Like my appointment with my oncologist. No, I think this was my cancer walk that I did, yeah. And things like that. So, and I think then the next thing I did is I did a weekly one, and I filled in what I did. It's just really amateurish, but to me, it's just like my memory book. And I think on this side, I did the goals that I wanted for the week, and I just checked them off. Did I finish it or did I not? And I kind of want to do that. I want to do that, take my time, and because I find it very relaxing. I think this is a dream I had on this side, and then ways that I can de-stress, like little quotes and things like that. So I just do these little amateurish, but I find it very relaxing. So like this is my wish list. Just so that's what I kind of want to continue on. Yeah. And I think this was September's month. Here I had the birthdays for everybody. And here was like, It's silly, I know. But for me, it's like going to be like a memory book, and I want to continue on. I have all my coloring, my pencils and things like that. I have actually on my desk, so I don't need to do that. Hold on a second. I have a sorry about another interruption, but those notifications just drive me crazy. I turn them off and they stay off for a little bit and then they come back on. I'm so tired of them. And then the next thing I have that I want to work on for the rest of the year is this is a book that I want to read. It is the story of Billy Graham, his autobiography. It is quite thick, but I love these types of books. I have a lot of books in my library, and a lot of them I didn't read. And, you know, it's been a while since I've actually been able to sit down and just kind of concentrate. I always feel guilty if I'm not being what I consider productive in other ways. That, you know, so if I sit down and do nothing, I feel kind of guilty. But I want to learn to have lazy days, you know, where I call them de-stressing days. So this is a book on Billy Graham, his autobiography. I'm looking forward to read it. It is thick, but you know, that doesn't matter. I love autobiographies about people. I used to watch him, I think they had them like on one of the channels a long time ago, and they would use different famous people that they would show. I love learning about people like that. So there's another one that I want to do. I'm looking forward to it, and one of the reasons why I wanted to wait till January. Now, I do a lot of Bible studies. I have a lot of devotions sent to my email. I listen to podcasts, but I've always wanted to do a daily devotional that I read in a book. This is the Billy Graham's Onto the Hills daily devotion. It is for 365 for every single day of this year. And I wanted to start this year where I take the time to sit down and read January's 4th devotion. And they're short. They're not very long. It's just one page. But I wanted to do that. Whether I do that on my break at work, whether I do that when I come home, or in the morning with my coffee, whenever I find the time to do that, I want to be able to do this daily. I find that many people that read a separate daily devotional with whatever they are reading, that they always find some insight to how, to what their day will be ahead. I mean, it just provides them, like, you know, with a lot of wisdom for the rest of the day. So I'm gonna see how that's gonna work out for me. If you see, I ripped this cover because it's like a, you know, it has a, and I had to tape it up. But I'm really looking forward to this. And then for something light and fun that I really enjoy doing is I love reading mystery books. Oh my gosh. I love watching mysteries. I love detective murder stories, books. So I am going to be reading this one, The Mystery of the Clockwork Sparrow by Catherine Woodfine. So I'm looking forward to it. I love that kind of stuff, that cloak and dagger kind of, especially if it was like, you know, back in the 40s or something like that, older ones. I love them, like Agatha Christie. So I'm really looking forward to this one and see how it goes. That's my light one. I'm probably going to read that first. Then I also have a daily prayer for a mother's prayer for every day of the year. I had this for years, you guys. This is a desktop. You put it down, it has like this. You put it on your desk. It is a desktop one. I have had this for years. And it's just something you leave on your desk, and you every day you change it. And it's just like a little encouragement. We do this with my daughter even. Like, what does today say? You know, like January 1st. Thank you, Heavenly Father. Thank you for my wonderful family. Even though we are not perfect, I praise you for this group of people that you have ordained as those who will be closest to me. Help me to be the best wife, mother, and woman that I can be today and every day of my life. So it's just a little encouragement. I've had this for years, like I said, um, and it's stained. It's you can tell it's showing its age, but um, it's always sat here on my desk, and I want to continue on. And it's funny because you kind of forget them, you know. It's like a book that I just found, and when I opened it up, I was like, oh my gosh, I remember this book, but yet I've forgotten it. Do you know what I mean? Because it's been a while. So it'll be a great refresher. And then another one is actually for my crocheting group. It's for my Crocheting Ministry group on Facebook. It's the simple tips and inspiration for knitters and crocheters actually in here too, but I'm going to add that on. And I've gotten this book too, and I've shared these little tips every day on a daily basis. And it has these little great um, inspirational things to write about. Like it might have some, okay, like little tips. Like for instance, when changing color in a striped piece, start the new color at the beginning of a purl row. Now that's for a knitter. So it'll give you like, it gives you these little tips like that. Or let me find a smaller one. I don't want to read too much. If your stitches keep slipping off metal needles, try switching to wooden, bamboo, or plastic needles, which provide a little more grip. So it has like all these little tips, and you know, and not just like I said about knitting. They also have a lot about crocheting in here. So I've done this once before on my Facebook page for my Crocheting Ministry. I've also ended up, we'll be posting one a day as kind of a refresher. And they're fun to read, and it's like these little tips. And sometimes it's just a little poem or a little saying or, you know, recycled plastic soda bottles are used in some yarn blends. Like, did you know that? Anyway, everyone, this is what I plan on doing. Hopefully this will be not a chore. Like, I don't want to send any kind of rules on it, except that once I'm done with something, and as the need goes, right? Like, let's say when I plant my garden, I'm not going to need the gardening book anymore. I can change it up with something else. You know, when I finish one book, I can put another one in there. So when I'll be doing that, I'll kind of bring it up and let you guys know what you know, how it went. Did I like the book or not? I have to say that there are quite a bit of the neighborhood library little nooks, like in front of people's homes. I don't know what you call them, but we have quite a few of them. So I can, if there's, let's say, a book that I didn't enjoy and maybe, you know, I didn't care for, I can always go and change, you know, replace it with some other one. I can share it with everyone else. I am actually thinking of doing it with a lot of the books, because I find that some of the books that I find that I have a lot of cooking books, and like, you know, do I need all these cooking books, for instance? So that's something that, and you can share with your neighborhood, you know, those little nooks. I forget what they're called, you guys, but if anyone remembers what they're called, put it in the comments. But I find there's several of them in my neighborhood that I can go and share books with others. So anyway, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.